Hello. So many times we get stuck in traffic, which causes us a lot of discomfort. What do you do when you get stuck in traffic? Welcome to Ojon Speaks. Don, when one gets stuck in traffic, like real life traffic, what is it like? What are the causes?
Okay, there are a lot of causes, and most of the times it's scary that a number of us will never get to the promised land without passing through traffic. Traffic is a temporary stoppage on your way to destiny. But what do you do when you get hooked up? There's this aspect of what do you do. There's this aspect of what to do to prevent it to a certain degree. Because in actual fact, you can actually prevent traffic. Let's begin from there. In real life traffic, there's the issue of timing. If you understand the time very well, what you will have done at the end of the day is you will have reduced the number of hours that you will spend in traffic. And the principal rule of time is the rule of early rising. When you rise up early, if you are supposed to travel for 2 hours and you understand that either we like it or not, there's going to be traffic congestion at one point or the other, and you leave very early, there's all possibility that you can beat the traffic. There's all possibility that you're going to get to where you're supposed to be early enough. Some people like to just naturally come late for their appointment with destiny. They don't get to start life until they are 30. Some do not get to start life until they are 40. And that is rising late. In the real sense of it, you will not compare a man who said because they say life begins at 40, that is going to put his life into perspective at 40. You cannot compare him with a man who understands the principle of early rising and starts life as early as 16. That's exactly what happened even scripturally. This thing, everyone has an opportunity. Either you're 50, either you're 60 or 70. Moses, there's a lot. Moses did not honor the invitation extended to him by destiny until he was 70. But realization. But you and I will also understand the fact that you will never want to compare the achievement of Moses with that of David, who started his appointment with destiny at the age of 17. So there are some people who think because of one reason or the other, because the complaint has always been, oh, my parent did not take care of me. At the end of the day, that will not be tenable in the court of destiny. That somebody did not do well because the uncle did not take care of him. It's not going to be tenable in the court of destiny. So the first principle of traffic congestion avoidance is the principle of timing. And the principal concept of timing is the principle of early rising. You need to rise up. The major challenge we have in Africa is that of procrastination. As if nothing is going to happen if I leave it undone. But a lot is going to happen. Because of procrastination, we see a lot of people growing old without growing up. Because of procrastination, we have seen a number of people who are not achieving what they are supposed to achieve. And do you know what they do? They pass it to the next generation. The next generation that will never bother about what you're supposed to do. Because in the real sense of it, there will have been less problem in the world today if everyone does what is supposed to do. If everyone decides to keep appointment with destiny. So the rule of early rising is number one. Number two is you need to continue to tell yourself that you have the capacity and you have the ability to continue to drive even when there seems to be no road. And every one of us, God has built this capacity in us. We have a mind that is the only definition of God's capacity. The mind of man is awesome. You have over 2 billion cells running in your brain with over 1 trillion connections here and there. There's nothing like impossibility. And every one of us must know man is God's expression of his perfection and power. So every one of us from the very beginning, God has seen ahead and he has packaged man for eventuality. That what happens if you cannot escape the traffic of life? What happens if you get stuck in early life pregnancy? What do you do? Do you want to end your life? The answer is no. Don't mind those people who say opportunity lost can never be regained. Each passing day, God invests another opportunity into the hand of man. So anybody can achieve anything, no matter how many times you are falling.
So you're saying there are always opportunities?
There are always opportunities for those people who refuse to give up. It's a lie that because you lost the business, that you are not going to make it again. One of my mentors was a millionaire at 27. He lost everything before he was 30. He didn't have a home. He didn't have a home. He didn't have a house. He was left with a vehicle. But from inside that vehicle, he wrote one of the best books ever, 17 Secrets of Super Goals Achiever. It shows that every one of us, we have the capacity. It doesn't matter where we're coming from. Now, as a GSS2 student, I didn't know how to write A to Z. And I tell people, and it happened that father came back and wanted me to do some word formation. And there's no how you want to do word formation without knowing the letter of the alphabet. So father asked me to write the letter of the alphabet before we can do some word formation. And I was writing G for J. And my ambition was to speak on radio. My ambition was to talk on television. And I was already 13. And I didn't know how to write A to Z. You were wondering, how was I passing? I was passing because it was a difficult terrain. And our teachers were never showed up in school. They come only on the day of examination, and they decided to pass everybody. And this is what we were doing. And at 21, I was already on radio. Something happened between that time and when I was 21. Between the time I was 13, I was already stuck in traffic of life. I never knew I could do it. Now, because somebody told me that if you're not good at English language, you cannot talk on radio. So I invested a lot of time studying English language. And you know what I did? I lost track of mathematics. I was stuck with English language that I didn't know any calculation in mathematics. Putting so much energy because I knew I had the capacity. God has given me the brain to do it. And I must appreciate that fact. So when it was time to write the exam, the almighty WAEC, I wrote and I came out fantastic in English language. But in mathematics, I had an F9. So father was concerned. He decided to enroll me in a place where they would teach me mathematics. Of course, at that point in time, I had to leave my village because in my village, you cannot get such amenity. I moved to the nearby town. So when I got to town, realizing the fact that everyone has the capacity, either you are taught or not, you have the capacity to learn and to know. And this is what I realized. The money given to me by father to register for the coaching program, I decided to use it to buy new general mathematics 1, 2, and 3. And I read mathematics as if I was reading English language. And I entered for the examination at the end of the year. And I came out with a credit. That tells you that every one of us, we have the capacity. Once we decide with utmost clarity and passion that this is where we want to go, it doesn't matter what is setting us back. Everything that is setting man back is environmental. But everything that is supposed to move man forward is environmental. So if you refuse to give up from the environment, then the circumstances around you cannot have the capacity to break you down. So you may be stuck. Making conscious effort, even when you realize that you are stuck. Unfortunately, because we are religious people, at every point in time that we get stuck in traffic, we read spiritual meaning to it. It is not always spiritual. Most of the times, it's as a result of our procrastination. Most of the times, it's as a result of our inability to connect with those people who will give us information as to the state of the road. Where you are going, some other people have traveled the road. If you can connect with them, that's the principle of relationship. If you can connect with them, then they are going to tell you whether the road is free or not. If you can connect with them, they are going to tell you whether to wait till 12 o'clock before you leave your house. If you can connect with them, and if you relate this with what is happening in life, if you can connect with people in your field, then they are going to help you understand the field. That is the essence of mentor. But everyone thinks he or she can do things by himself or alone. We need ourselves. Even when we're stuck in traffic, we should be able to look up and see somebody who is willing to draw us up if we are willing to stand and leave the traffic point. So it doesn't matter the kind of traffic that you are hooked and stuck in, there's always a way out. In your traffic time, it's a time to reflect about what is going to happen when you get to your destination or when you get near your destination. Unfortunately, because so many people, they didn't get the time right, they don't have people that they can call, they enter into very thick traffic and they get stuck. So before they get to their place of appointment with destiny, they are already lost. We have the capacity. Even if we are stuck today, we can actually move out without losing our vigor.
You heard it all, so you need to make conscious efforts to get out of traffic. This is Ojon Speaks. Thank you.